Hold on, let me take my time.
Morning everyone, welcome to another video from Lewis from YouTube. It's a pretty special video. We're here in Vichy for the European Sprint and Standard Distance Championships. As you've seen from the video already, we've travelled down the west coast of France, stopping in some of the major cities and also some of the little villages on the way, which has been terrific. It's been really nice, but we're finally here in Vichy. It's the Friday before race weekend. Some of you already know I'm doing the Sprint and the Standard. So it's going to be a pretty hectic 3 days, but today we're just getting ready for a pretty busy day in terms of setting up. We arrived here last night. It was not bad. We went out for some really nice food as well. Vichy itself is absolutely lovely, but today is all about getting ready. So I got to get the bikes ready, get both of my transition bags ready, bikes ready, and then obviously got to go to registration, put my bike in, and also go to the team brief to meet all the other GB athletes. So it's going to be a really special weekend. I've been looking forward to this weekend for a long time, and it's the last 2 races of the season, which means there's going to be plenty of wine on our trip afterwards. So please come along, like and share the video if you're enjoying it, and I'll leave some links in the bio below if you feel like you want to try and represent GB. There's a qualification for it which you can do, but there's plenty of opportunities. So please look at the link as well, and hopefully we will see you at a GB race very soon. Okay then, so it's Friday midday. We've made a plan of attack this morning now of today. So first thing we're going to do is ride up to registration, which is about a 4k ride, and that's where the start, the finish, everything is happening. So we're going to go there, get all of our numbers for the weekend because I'm doing the Sprint and the Standard. 2 o'clock then we have the Team GB sprint briefing and team photo, and we can say hello to all the other Team GB athletes. And then after that we're going to do a quick food shop, come back, get some food down us, then back up to where the start is to rack the road bike ready for the sprint tomorrow. And then after that we got the Parade of Nations, which I'm really looking forward to. It should be a really enjoyable event. And then get back to the camper, get some good night's rest down us hopefully, and it's sprint tomorrow, Standard Sunday. So yeah, looking forward to it now. It feels a bit more real. We're here, got everything on, ready to go. So come along for the journey. Should be a great day, and hopefully inspire you to try and become a Team GB athlete as well. Okay, so it's Friday afternoon. It's been quite a busy day so far, hence why I haven't done a lot of filming. But as you can see, we've sussed out the bike route for the sprint tomorrow. We've signed on, which was pretty chaotic, I must admit. Managed to get there in the end, but that did take a while, and luckily we were early. Sussed out the swim, had a good feel for Vichy as well, which has been really good. And then we had the athletes briefing, which was again busy, but really good to see a lot of British athletes here in all age ranges, male and female, and para as well. We got all the para championships here as well this weekend, so really good diverse network of triathletes, which is really good. We're all ready for tomorrow then, so the bike is stickered up, got my bottle ready. It's very minimal for a sprint. I forgot how much you just need a pack, which is really nice. Got the tri-suit ready. I don't think anyone's actually seen this yet, so we're all good to go. Got yellow jersey on as well, who are covering me for insurance this year. If you want a discount on that, I leave it in the link below. They do cover you for all European and worldwide insurance, and in the UK as well, so just have a little look at that. And obviously we got Ribble on there as well. Big thanks for them for obviously the TT bike for Sunday, and obviously the road bike for tomorrow as well. That's a big help. And yeah, being an age group ambassador this year as well, it's been really good to represent British Triathlon. And again, helmet's ready. There's a lot of stickers, I must admit, and tattoos, which we'll have to put on tomorrow as well. So but other than that, we're all good to go. Bag is packed, wetsuit's ready. Looks like a really nice course. And just to close off Friday afternoon, we're going to head to the Parade of Nations and walk with all the rest of the GB athletes and celebrate why we're here. So yeah, it's been an enjoyable day, pretty stressful, but I'm a bit more calm now. We've had some food as well, so yeah, let's head over to the Parade of Nations and enjoy some early celebrating, I suppose. So yeah, let's head over there now. Smile, everyone.
Wow, that's a move. Well done,
So we're just walking back after the Parade of Nations. It absolutely hammered down after it was finished, so got quite lucky with the timing. We're going to take a trick out of everyone else's bag and rent some scooters for tomorrow morning. So we've downloaded the app, and our campsite is about a 45-minute walk. So instead of having a really uncomfortable backy,
hey, it was efficient.
It was efficient, I agree. We're going to try and find a scooter for me for the morning. So there's plenty around. So bird bike scooters, good tip if you're away and in a European country, they are absolutely everywhere. So that's our task on the way home. Then we're going to have some good night's sleep hopefully, and get up ready to go tomorrow. So this will be the end of Friday, essentially day one of Vichy. See you in the morning. Okay, so just finished the sprint. That was a lot harder than I expected, to be honest. Probably just absolutely flat out in the swim. Got knocked around a bit, so let the front boys go and just had some feet. As you can tell behind as well, the rip was really strong. She was really hard out, quite fast back. But when we hit the turn to come back, everyone just did this. It just tried to pull you right all the time. So it was really hard to look, breathe, and stay on course. So that was all right. Just a little bit slower than I wanted, but not too bad. Transition went well. Got everything quite quickly. Came out with another Brit, Ryan. We worked really well together. Passed a ton of people on the bike. I must say, like, we worked really strong together. And then there was a Polish, German, another Brit, and I think it was a Czech. Got my shoes on quite quickly. Started to run, but the heat was just unbearable. Like, the difference running in the morning back in UK and then running here in like the middle of the day was just solid. So a little bit slower on the run, but I was sort of safe because I couldn't catch the guy in front of me, and there was pretty much a massive gap behind me. So wanted to make sure I had some energy for tomorrow, so didn't need to push it really. So 16th today, I'll take it. You know, I wanted a little bit higher, but it's all. But we got tomorrow to play for as well, and it was a fantastic experience. Draft legal racing is very hard, so but I enjoyed it. Yeah, pretty good. We're gonna get my bike, have a little rest, and then go over to the briefing ready for tomorrow. So that's it for now. So that's bike number 2 racked in for this weekend. The weather's getting very windy and looks like it's going to be very interesting tomorrow. It could be wet, could be dry, we just don't know. But bike number 2 is in. Draft illegal tomorrow, so it's standard, same swim location. The bike is 1 lap, we're going all the way out as well. There's a little hill but nothing major, and then 2 laps of the run course of what we did today. So not too bad. Let's just pray that the weather is nice for us tomorrow. But yeah, let's go get some food and some good rest after today's sprint. Well, welcome to the third day of the European Triathlon Championships. It's the final day and it's completely different weather to what we've had so far. So yesterday I came 16th in the sprint, pretty happy around that. Hour and 4 was my time, and like the top 4 in my category won the whole event in terms of age group. So just showed the level out here is absolutely insane. But today's the standard, and it's a completely different bike loop. Same area for the swim and 2 laps of the run we did yesterday. So but as you can see, the hood is on, the rain jacket's on. It is pretty wet and it hasn't stopped for the last 3 or 4 hours. I'm off at Harper's 2, so very late. Yesterday was the latest triathlon I've ever done, and that was 11:45. So Harper's 2 today. So keeping on top of nutrition and water is quite difficult, I must admit. So just got that to work out, and I've been trying to keep on top of my fluids and some food, because I used to just racing in the morning back in the UK. And yeah, so we're just walking now to find a scooter, and then we're going to make our way up to the transition to get everything ready nice and early, just because I don't particularly want to be leaving anything till last minute, and I'd rather just get there. So let's keep walking. Honestly, the scooters are the best thing ever. Like, I really wish we had them back in Wales and stuff, because honestly this is the best way to commute. Like, this would be a 45-minute walk and it's done in 10 minutes. Like, it's so good. Like, Europe is so set up for sort of economic travel. Like, there's bike lanes everywhere, there's scooter and bike rental everywhere, and I think I've seen more people walk or ride a scooter than actually drive. Like, it's absolutely insane, and it's really cheap as well. It's actually cheaper than probably driving to the race venue and back. So I think the UK needs to hurry up and get this really moving, because this is by far the best way of travel. Okay, so everything's in transition ready. The good thing about the box is I can put my stuff over it for at least a couple of hours so that it doesn't get absolutely soaked, which is good. But yeah, it's going to find Alex now. Apparently she's found some shelter so we can stay warm and dry for a bit. But yeah, weather is certainly getting worse, so we'll see how we go. But to be honest, I secretly like this weather. It's good for me. As soon as I get out of that water, I'll be in my element. So yeah, just navigate that swim. As soon as I get out of there, I'll be happy. So yeah, not too bad so far. Just want to get over and done with now. I'm going to try and have some food, some light food that is, some water down me, keep the energy levels topped up, and hopefully have a good race and finish off European Championships quite happy with myself. So yeah, just going to rest up now.
On your mark.
Well then, so coffee in the hand, we're back home, and I think it's time for a bit of a debrief of the sprint and standard championships at Vichy this year. So where do we start? Firstly, I gotta say I'm really sorry this is coming out late. We've done a lot of housework since I've come back. Work's been quite busy, and yeah, it's just been so much going on with myself and my partner. As you saw from the video, we got engaged, and yeah, just been trying to recover, to be honest. It's just been a long, busy couple of weeks. So if you're watching this quite late, really sorry, but thank you for sticking around and waiting for this to come out. So let's get underway. Let's talk about my performances first, and then we'll come on to the general event itself. So my performance, I was really happy with it, considering I was doing the Saturday and the Sunday. There was a lot of unknowns, never done anything like that before. I didn't want to hold back for the sprint and not give it for the standard. So, you know, use of recovery, things like that was really important. And obviously we were technically on holiday as well. So I wanted to enjoy myself the week before and obviously during the event and afterwards as well. So the sprint went well, managed to get a top 20 result. Really happy with that. First time I've ever done a draft legal triathlon as well, which sounds a bit silly, but I've done lots of road racing in the past, like it, but not in a triathlon setting. First time doing that, I felt super comfortable, didn't feel out of place at all. I can't remember the boy's name now, but it was another GB athlete, and both came out the swim together, and we biked super strong. I mean, like, I think we were in like the top 30 out of everyone for our bike, and we literally came out of transition together, had a bit of an agreement to work together and just went for it. We were catching up to groups, really holding our own, and we just agreed basically when we got to them, we wouldn't just jump on the back, we would just keep pushing, and we managed to drop nearly everyone who we passed, bar I think a Polish and a Belgian rider, I believe, and worked really well. The swim was super choppy. Didn't expect it to be like that, if I'm honest with you. I thought it was going to look calm, and it just really wasn't. And then coming on to the run for the sprint, one lap, it was quite difficult because it was so dry and it was so hot. Yeah, you were just basically baking. Even though the weather was really windy, you were just getting hit with some warm heat. And then the run course was a little bit gravelly as well. So when you were pushing off and running, it felt like you were running on marbles, so you couldn't get that full push through. But yeah, I was solid. You know, I could see the runners probably 150 meters ahead of me, and I had about a 100 meter gap behind. I wasn't making the distance to catch those guys up, although I did catch one or two who were clearly gone too hard and started to walk. But it was just about maintaining the gap to the people behind me, which is what I was focusing on, just so I can finish strong, but not push myself too hard for no reason, and then go into the next day really fatigued. So yep, I was really happy with that. The boxes in the transition, first time using them, so it was good to get a day under my belt to understand that process as well. Okay, so coming on to the standard event, I think I was off at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which was like the latest I've ever done a triathlon. It was kind of nice, which was good recovery, but the weather was completely different. It was really cold, the water was cold, proper raining, wet roads. It was just a completely different day to the day before, where it was warm, quite sunny and a little bit windy. But got there nice and early, managed to keep warm, stay inside, and my body felt okay. I didn't feel too fatigued, but I knew that there was a bit of weakness in the quads and things like that, which is to be expected. Got in the water then, started quite strong, but the water was really cold, and I think that messed with me a little bit. I got a bit concerned, but managed to get on a feet of a group of 2 or 3, and that really worked well. We worked well together, and I think we actually did take it in turns, to be honest. We were working really well. It was probably my poorest swim of the year, just shy of like sub 30 minutes, when I know I'm capable of doing 22, 23 minutes. But I wasn't trying to kick as much as I normally do, because I knew that would just not help when we got into the run. So yeah, again, was a little bit disappointed, but was to be expected. I actually fell coming out of the water as well. I started to sort of get up out of the water. I cramped in both quads, fell face first, but lucky there was enough water to actually catch me so I didn't hit my face. So really lucky there. And to be honest, the first ever time I've had cramp in any event of racing. I've never had it before. So clearly I was a bit fatigued without knowing. Got on the bike then and started to work quite hard, quite quickly. The start of the bike course was really technical on a cycle path, which I really enjoyed. I could see that people in front of me were struggling with sharp turns, maybe not feeling confident in leaning the bike over and things like that. So used that to my strength, and then we got onto the road. What I didn't realize was it wasn't a closed road event. And now this was something which was not fed back to the age group coaches or anyone. So, but we'll come on to that in a bit. So got onto the road, started to climb up a hill. There was no road markings. I thought, oh, well, this is okay. Went to take over a rider and there's a car coming the other way. And it was quite a narrow road. So that shook me up a little bit. So not the best start to a really important European standard race, I must admit. As soon as we got out onto the single carriageway, oh, and actually before that, there was another single bit of road, looked like a one-way, and motorbikes were taking us on the left, and quite far left. So we're like, okay, well, that means we can probably go on to the left when we're overtaking. There was a boy in front of me, overtaking. I moved then out to the right to overtake as well, and all of a sudden, two marshals came around the corner on motorbikes, and we were literally head on to them. And it was a bit like, am I in the right? Or are they in the right? You know, who's in the wrong? Like, it was just so confusing. And they started to scream at us, tell us to get onto the other side of the road. But we actually followed another motorbike doing it to overtake. So I really don't know who was in the right, who was in the wrong. And again, could have been better signage saying keep right, you know, arrows saying come in the other way. But none of that. And I think that was quite poor. As soon as we got out of Vichy then onto the single carriageway road, other drivers and people on the road respected the race. They respected the riders, and there was no issues there. So that was really good. When we got up onto the climb then around the chateau, it was absolutely beautiful, super smooth roads, same as the single carriageway, and it was really enjoyable. It was a really good race. It felt like a professional race. Marshals were doing their very best, and they were very good at organising cars on and off the course, making sure that we had priority at all the roundabouts. And then when we got up and around the chateau, I think it was not, I think it was closed roads then. So it was a really good experience. And then coming back down, came back the same way, so you sort of knew what to expect. And then we went on to the riverbank path, which was like the cycle track. And that is what we've been taking to get to the race venue every single day. And I was like, is this what we're actually riding on? And ultimately it was a yes. But there was bits of boardwalk which were completely wooden, and it's been raining, so you've got to remember that they're going to be insanely wet. They did manage to carpet some of it, which worked. But I must admit there was no marshals, and it was very slippery. So you had to really be focused. Like, you either going in the water if you went too far right, and you got to be careful of people coming onto the cycle track who were walking back and forth to the event. So it was a little bit sketchy, I must admit. But for me, it was a super technical bike course, something which I enjoyed. The climb was a good climb. The downhill was fast, and I'm super confident on that. So I passed a lot of people. I pushed hard, and ultimately had a really good bike split. It may look quite slow on the times, but actually it was meant to be 40k, and I think it was nearly 46k. So we did a lot more than what we should have done. But yeah, really good technical bike course would get the best out of someone and find their weaknesses as well. And from a European race, it set the bar really high, and that was good. So coming on to the run then. So it was 2 laps of what we did the day before. So I knew the course really well, and I knew it was going to be muddy. and I could see the guys who had been out before me and the girls, they were pretty covered in mud after their first lap. So knew what to expect. What I didn't realise was how many places I probably made up on the bike. I was sitting in like top 12, top 13, and I didn't realise. So I was running pretty well, and the first lap I managed to get some gel down me, get some good carb mix in me on the bike, just to set me up. And I was about 20 or 30 seconds slower than the day before for my first lap, so I felt really good. And then just out of nowhere, everything just hit me. I was just in, I wouldn't say pain, but it just felt like I was going absolutely nowhere. I was trying super hard, and I was just looking at my watch, and I was just getting 5 seconds slower, 10 seconds slower, 15 seconds slower. And basically I was about 30 to 40 seconds a K slower than my first lap. I just really struggled. It was just a survival to get to the end. I think I was pretty much exhausted. I didn't really realise. So I managed to, I don't know if I just scraped in the top 20 or was just outside, but again, I was quite happy with my result, and I'm sort of understand now what my capabilities are in the sprint and the standard. Would I do the double again? Probably not. I would focus on one event and one event only, and for me that would probably be the standard distance, because I think for me, although I have a weak swim, I can make that up on the bike and the run. On a really good day, I can run a sub 40, sometimes a sub 38 10k coming off the bike, and that's with a strong bike time as well. So that's what I would probably work on, and that's the event I would try and aim for if I was going to do a age group event again and try and qualify. So yeah, and you know, that's how it went really, and I was again really happy with my times. And yeah, good bike course, could have been better. Run course was good fun, and like I said, the swim was just a bit brutal and a bit cold. So but that's how, you know, can't change those conditions. It's exactly the same for everyone. So here's the medals, wooden medals, I must admit, one for each. I think this is what we need to talk about next. This sort of sums up for me the event that we had. Now, I don't mind wooden medals if it was a charity event or an event which was run by a club and the money was going to a non-profit organisation, or to raise money, or to put back into a triathlon club or whatever. When you're spending thousands of pounds, I wouldn't say thousands of pounds, hundreds of pounds to get to the event, food, accommodation, and entry fees for the events. I think the sprint was about 130, and I think the standard was close to £200. This is not what you should get, in my eyes. I am an age group ambassador for British Triathlon, but I'm happy to tell people about my experience, and it has been voiced by others as well. The organisation was really poor, and what we had back from our money, I don't think was up there with what we should get from a European standard event, and for European championships, where, you know, there's a lot on the line for some people as well. You know, I went there for the experience. Some people are there to win. And you can also say it's not about the experience. You can go do an Ironman, or you can go do a club event for that. And you're there to race. You know, it's European champs. It's all about where you finish. But for others as well, it's all about the experience you get as a whole. And for me, it is about that as well. So just to add a bit of perspective on this, European Championships, Vichy was sprint and the standard. Now, European Championships for all other disciplines, so cross triathlon, duathlon, aquathlon, long distance, aquabike, 70.3 for example. Same European, same European Championships. I don't know who organised it there, or I don't know how much money it was to have it there. I don't know any of that. When you signed on, you had a bag, you had water bottles, you had metal medal for finishing, you had a really good quality t-shirt for us, you know, for getting to the event as well. And what we had was a really poor t-shirt where the stitching was pretty awful, I must admit, and it's not comfortable to wear. So you can't wear that with good pride on training runs and things like that. And we just had wooden medals. So that has been voiced already. And the other things which around Vichy have been voiced as well. The organisation was unfortunately really poor throughout the whole weekend. We had 9 athlete guides over a space of a week, which just kept constantly changing and made everything very confusing. Routes were changing the night before, for example. Information was changing the night before or a couple of days before when we put our bikes in the transition, which I'm not a very stressy person. I'm very relaxed. But even for someone like me, it was pretty stressful. On top of that then, sign on. They had 2 people signing on, probably close to 1,000 plus competitors, age groupers. Then you have the elites and you have the para on all this weekend. So you got to think, there's elites there and age groupers. There's a hell of a lot of people there, and that's not enough people to do it. So you can probably see from my video, if you scroll back, I got there very early, but that line was absolutely huge. Now, because of that, everything else got knocked on. People missed the athlete brief. People, were late going to bed. People were late signing on, kind of thing. And the race is the next day. You've got to remember that. It's not like Ironman where you can sign up 2 days before, which they should have done, in my opinion. So that was really disorganized. There was other things which people said were disorganized, but I think some things you can just work out for yourself. But there were some really key things missed. The British Triathlon coaches were absolutely amazing. They gave us as much information as they possibly knew and passed it on to us. Unfortunately, because they didn't have all the information that we needed, our experience was overall hindered because of that. So we didn't know about the feed stations on the run, how transition worked in and out because the routes kept changing. There were some important questions where people asking, and the British Triathlon coach was just saying, we'll try and find out. And that's not their fault. And, like I was saying, they were fantastic for us, organised everything for us, the briefings, where we need to be, the timings. But again, it could have been so much better. That event for me was below par. When you're spending all that money just to have a race, which I must admit, I've seen triathlon clubs put on better here in Wales for £30. It's just not good enough in my eyes. And I think there'll be a lot of takeaways from that. There was a feedback form that went out a week after, and being on the age group, private group for Vichy, I think people didn't hold back about the experience they had. And I don't blame them. I think when you compare what people had in Portugal compared to us, we weren't, I'm not saying prioritised, but we weren't treated the same. We were promised finisher t-shirts on top of the t-shirts for sign-on. They never materialised. It's a bit of a clothing joke. But, that never came about. So there was loads of things promised which under-delivered as well. So I think just to wrap up the video, the experience was great. To represent my country, for my age group, to be part of the age group ambassador program this year, to have the experiences which I've done, to race the best in Europe, which I firmly believe were the best in Europe to be there, and to even get there for me, I'm insanely proud of. But when we're there, I'm not saying we need to be treated like elites or top-end athletes, but I think we deserve to have an event which celebrates what we've achieved. And I think that's what we didn't get out of it. So lots to take away, lots for, I think, European Triathlon and Vichy to take away. Vichy is a fantastic place, lots of cultural things to look at, good food, good drink. We did have a lot of drink after Sunday, we were up till 3 o'clock. But just could have been a much better event for everyone involved. And to wrap that up then, it was a fantastic 3 weeks abroad. Travelled France for 3 weeks in a camper van. Had great weekend racing, good food, good drink, lots of wine as you expect. I got engaged, and back home to very cold Welsh weather and ready to basically crack on with the house and start planning for a wedding, I suppose. So haven't signed up to anything next year so far. Like I said, it's been really busy. But if you think there's anything you'd like me to do, like to see me give a go, drop it in the comments below and we'll see what I can do. But for now, have a good rest of your season. Good luck for your races if you have any left this year. And I'll hopefully see you around over the winter or maybe into next year.